I take that investment and that responsibility in people who are putting their faith in me, in Penn, long term, as serious as anything I've taken in the 20 years.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we get into the videos, I want to preface this by saying that I am a fan of Barstool Sports. Later on in the video, we're going to talk about how Penn National Gaming acquired 36% of Barstool on January 29th, 2020, and what that means for the future of their stock price. Penn National Gaming, stock ticker PENN, is in the consumer cyclical sector, and their business operations are focused in the resort and casino financial industry, and they're currently trading at a share price of $81.97. Penn National Gaming owns, operates, or has ownership interests in 41 different gaming and racing properties, spanning over 19 different states. They also focus on the operation of video game terminals with a focus on slot machine entertainment. We'll discuss this more later in the video, but we've really seen a business shift with them over the past 2 years, where they have started in the more traditional casino industry with sports tracks and slot machines, and much more recently they've been placing a lot of their focus on the retail and online gaming side of gambling. Penn National Gaming currently boasts a market cap of $12.817 billion and have a 52-week range of $26.96 to a high of $142. It's also important to note, as this is a stock which focuses not only in the consumer cyclical industry, but also dealing with gambling and casinos, they are a riskier stock. As they are more risky, you're going to see a higher beta metric of 2.57. Penn National Gaming's earnings per share are currently 21 cents, making their PE ratio 392, which is extremely high, but should be able to decrease if Penn can increase their earnings over the next year as the country continues to reopen and their revenue increases. Penn's price to book ratio is 4.59, which tells us that the price of the company set by the market is 4.6 times higher than the intrinsic value of the company, and their current ratio is 2.5, which we love to see, meaning Penn National Gaming holds 2.5 times more assets than they do liabilities. The company currently has just over $2 billion in cash on hand, and to go along with that, they have $11.2 billion in debt. And they have an operating cash flow of $552 million and levered free cash flow of $626 million. Here's an example of the shift in Penn's balance sheet from 2019 to 2021. You can see not only have they drastically improved their liquidity, but they've also been able to lower their net debt by exuberant levels. This not only gives us confidence in management's ability to plan for the future, but also shows that they can adapt through tough circumstances like the 2020 pandemic, and should allow you as an investor to feel a little bit safer. The profit margins of Penn National are a little low, just below 1%, but they do have an operating margin at around 10% and a return on assets of 1.69. similar to their return on equity of 1.51%. Although you can see a little drop in revenue here from 2019 to 2021 at -6%, I want you to focus more on that drastic jump in net income, increasing 78%, as spend per visit currently remains higher than pre-COVID times. Before we talk about Penn National Gaming acquiring Barstool in January 2020 and what that means for the future of their business model, I want to remind you guys to scroll down below the video real quick and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out growing the channel and signals to YouTube that they should push the video more. January 29th, 2020, Penn National Gaming acquires 36% equity interest in Barstool Sports Incorporated. If you don't know what Barstool is, they are a leading digital sports and entertainment media company. Shortly after that, Penn National Gaming launched its Barstool Sportsbook app and products in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Illinois, allowing it to leverage the Barstool brand. I want to just take a minute to talk about how good of a business move this was by Penn National Gaming. Although they came up in the more brick and mortar style casinos and racetracks, they're trying to make a shift towards the online gaming space, and their direct competitors here will be DraftKings and FanDuel. It's really interesting to me because DraftKings and FanDuel both advertise mainly by targeting big sports players or sports personalities and paying them greater sums of money. Although that does seem to be working for them, Penn National Gaming decided to take a slightly different route, breaking into that market by acquiring Barstool, who in my opinion is one of the biggest media companies right now, with an audience of over 66 million loyal fans. To sum that all up, what that means for Penn National Gaming is their 20 million pre-existing casino customers, plus the 66 million fans of Barstool Sports, are now a huge current and future customer base for the 48,000 gaming machines, 1,300 table games, and close to 8,800 hotel rooms of Penn National Gaming. The Barstool Sportsbook was launched on March 11th of 2021 and was successfully introduced in Illinois. On their first 30 days of operation, they had 54,000 registrations and a gross gaming revenue of $6.5 million. We're continuing to see gambling become much more accepted all throughout the United States. The New York Lottery has even come out with an app which you can just have on your phone. But I do expect the Barstool Sportsbook to continue to be accepted in many other states and the gambling regulations to continue to ease up in the future. Another example that the Barstool audience and market was a great investment move by Penn National Gaming is that their gross gaming revenue pre-branding was at 23.6%, and that was able to increase by 14% all the way up to 37% post Barstool acquisition. By the end of 2021, they are planning to have 10 Barstool branded sportsbooks, and we should continue to see that gaming revenue rise. I just wanted to throw this in here real quick. It's nothing big, but it does show that the company is completely 100% dedicated to going the technological route in online gaming, and they believe that that's where the most money is, and I tend to agree with them there. One of the ways they were able to do this were by creating the Penn Games Studio, which they did by acquiring Hit Point Studios. This is a really important move to me because it shows that Penn National Gaming is very focused on growing their business model, and they are not afraid to do so by acquiring other companies and adding to their team. I believe this is one of the reasons that we were able to see such a drastic, quick growth in share price, obviously alongside the Barstool acquisition. This is a chart showing the online and retail revenues earned by Penn National since August 2020. And on the left side of the graph there, you can see it says Theo. The bars of the graph are showing the theoretical chance that Penn National Gaming has to win a bet by a player. So you can see that they have essentially worked out that by offering both an online sportsbook and an online casino, in addition to their already pre-existing retail casinos, they are able to, in many cases, greater than double their theoretical chance of winning the bet. Another benefit of the Barstool acquisition, I believe, is the quarterly trend by age group, and you can see that it has drastically begun to increase. Obviously, we're seeing this increase a little bit because the country's starting to open up again, but the main demographic of Barstool and their customer base was able to increase at the fastest rate. Here is the one-year chart of Penn National Gaming. They're currently trading at $81.97, and they have just tested the 20-day SMA line, but looks like they were unsuccessful in their crossing. The company's RSI, Relative Strength Index, is currently 44, which does not signify that they are overbought or oversold, but this is quite a large dip off their one-year high of $142, and in my opinion might be a good place to buy in. I also want to look at the 2-year chart of Penn so we can look at what their share price was doing pre-Barstool acquisition. As I mentioned before, the acquisition was on January 29th, 2020, and the candle which I have highlighted here is from January 27th, 2020, and the price of Penn National Gaming at this point was $29.83. And you can see pretty much from that point on, after an initial dip from that first run-up, the company has been able to grow their share price immensely. The last thing we're talking about today, Analyst Ratings. The recommended rating is currently at 2.4, which places it just between a buy and a hold. And out of 14 analyst price targets, the average is $105.36 against the current share price of just under $82. With everything we've looked at today, I really think think Penn National Gaming is a buy, and although you might have to ride out some price fluctuation in the short term, I do believe that we should see that share price grow to much higher levels in the future. Over the past 2 years, they've been able to grow their business operations immensely and have shown a strong ability to adapt to not only the economic climate, but the social climate surrounding their demographic as well. Again, I am a fan of Barstool Sports, so this may be a little more inherently biased than some of the other stock analysis videos which I post, but if you thought it was interesting, I recommend you look into it a little more at least. I want to remind you guys to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Share the video if you like Penn National Gaming and think they're a good growth stock. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think about their acquisition of Barstool Sports. As always, I'm Patrick Zimmerman. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.